Right, good morning guys. Today we're going to do a chicken saltimbocca. It can be made up in advance and then just cooked to order. It can actually be frozen down as well, so if you had a dinner party or family and friends coming around, you can make it a week before, freeze it down and just defrost it in the fridge overnight. So basically 4 ingredients, 5 including the seasoning. We've got chicken breast, and we've got mozzarella, which is cow's mozzarella, we've got fresh basil, and we've got prosciutto. So here we go, let's see if we can get it to do this in front of the camera. So here's the chicken breast. Normally where the wing bone's in, you can get a little bit of gristle around where the bone attaches, so we just cut that out. There's a little bit, we're going to throw that away, and this little bit here. So just taking the gristle away, not the actual meat itself. That one there is nice and clean. Just check this one. This one also has a little bit, so we're just going to take that out as well. Obviously watching your fingers whilst you go. But the larger ones down the middle here, you'll get like a chicken fillet. So we can pull that out, put it to one side, and then when we wrap it up, we put it back in again, and it just helps to balance it out a bit. What I'm going to do, hand on top, nice and flat, keeping your thumb and your little finger out of the way, so this part only, touching the breast, and basically I'm just going to cut in, but not go all the way through the breast, and this is going to make what we call an escallop. Okay, so all we've done is just open up the breast up. Now this breast is actually a little bit thicker, so it's quite fat on that side, much thicker than this one. So what I'm going to do is just do the same again, but instead of doing it from there, I'm going to go from here, because this is the fatter part. So hand on top, little slit, and just open it up. Right, next job is we're going to season the chicken breast. Not too much, but we're going to season it from the inside. Just a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. We don't want to over season it with the salt, because the cured prosciutto, as like bacon, streaky bacon, contains salt in itself, so we don't want to over season it. So using the other knife, we're going to take this mozzarella ball, cut it in half like so. We can get 4 out of this quite easily. Then we're going to cut that into quarters, and we're going to lay that in there, and lay that one in there. And now what we want is some basil leaf. So we're going to get 1, 2 basil leaves. Let's put a little bit more in, I like basil. You could stuff it with, if you're using basil, you could put some dried tomato in there as well if you wanted, or a tapenade, which is like a black olive paste. That's quite Mediterranean, that will go down just as well. And what we're going to do is just fold it up like a little parcel. So roll that one over, keeping it tight, and then roll it over to the other side. Okay, so we've got 2 chicken breasts there, beautifully filled. So we're going to take the prosciutto and we're just going to lay it over the top. You don't have to stretch it over, we can just lay it over and double it. Okay, and what we want to do is leave a little bit here, just hanging over the edges, because what we're going to do is fold that underneath. So there's one. Now I'm going to pick it up and just tuck that underneath, and that one underneath there. Okay, so there's one. Okay, back again. So I've got rid of the bits that I don't need now. What we're going to do is wrap it. So take some cling film, pull it out longer than you need. Okay, so there's a length, I'm just going to cut it. So chicken breast, just sort of in the front third of the cling film. If you divide the cling film into 3, put it in the front third, because what we want to do is take this bit up, wrap it over, keeping it nice and tight all the way up till we've got, holding the ends here and here, using your fingers, just twist it, turn it around, Okay. And what it's done, it's compacted the chicken breast, it's brought it in from the ends, it's made it nice and tight. What I'm going to do is just stand that on the end and just tie a knot in this end here. So you want to keep the knot as close to the chicken as you can. Like so. I'm going to turn it over and do the same on that end. So we're just going to tie a simple knot and we're just going to pull that tight. So basically now what we've got is one chicken saltimbocca ready for cooking. I'm just going to trim these ends off. There and there. There's one completely done. Right, let's go. There we have 2 saltimboccas ready. Obviously in the fridge, 3-day shelf life. In the freezer, 3-month shelf life. So what I'm going to do now is poach them. We're going to just cover it. I'm going to lid it on, and basically what we're going to do now is just get the gas right. I'm going to bring it up to the boil and then turn it down to simmer for 20 minutes. In the meantime I'm going to prepare some tender stem broccoli, cherry vine tomatoes. I'm going to blitz up a tomato and basil sauce to go with it. Right, as you can see, there's one chicken saltimbocca. Right, so I'm going to nip the end off. I'm going to slide the chicken out. So that's holding its shape now. I've got some cherry tomatoes, cherry vine tomatoes, some little piccolo ones. That's going to go onto there with those. And a little bit of olive oil. A little bit of olive oil over the top. And then that'll go into a hot oven. When I say hot oven, I'm on about 180 minimum, 180 200. And that'll just go in there just to colour. What we have here, we have 1 saltimbocca. And we have cherry tomatoes. I've got tender stem broccoli simmering away on the stove. Sauce is ready, so what I'm going to do now is we're just going to slice this. So we'll go at an angle, we're just going to slice it into 3 or 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the plate with the sauce. The tomato and basil sauce, basically it's a can of tomatoes, some fresh basil, finely diced onion, a little bit of balsamic, a little bit of sugar, and then seasoning. I've simmered it for about 4 minutes and then just let it go cold and blended it in a NutriBullet. But don't do it hot in a NutriBullet because when you take the lid off it will explode. So there's the chicken, there's the tomatoes, and then I've got a little bit of crispy basil on top. And now we have my version of a chicken saltimbocca with basil instead of sage, tomato basil sauce, tender stem broccoli, roasted cherry vine tomatoes and crispy basil. So thank you very much for joining me, hope you enjoyed it. Any feedback would be great. See you soon.